Walls, but his circle, if you go back there, doesn't go very far past that intersection.
Well,
So there's the
I would
remainder.
guess that every linear foot of A Street is $200,000. No, wrong, too much, I'm wrong, is
With the walls that are included,
Well, getting this off
how
the
much?
plate.
A linear foot is,
it adds up. If
500?
I may just address that, the challenge here is that A Street intersection will change in elevation considerably. And part of the reason for that is the slope coming up line is too severe for a stop
What
condition.
you're telling us too, Les, if I got this right, is if we do the A Street now and get that off of our plate, then we got the shot at doing Mountain View a year later. If we don't do that, we got a chance of losing this completely, and we're still not going to get Mountain View till 2019. Is that pretty much how you see this?
2019,
I mean, is that- that's kinda how I'm
2019 is the earliest Mountain View will happen, 2019. That's the program year, that's when the money's available,
Yeah.
not before. So that's the earliest. And then A Street is slated for 2020. Right now, if we do this, then we would start construction on A Street in 2019, because that's when the funds become available. Okay? Mountain View would slide back from 19, probably 2 or 3 years, not 1
Oh,
year,
okay.
but to 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. Again, we don't know for sure, and we don't know for sure how the board will react to A Street delaying. I mean, I'm trying to be as open about this as we can. You know, it's hard to predict. But I can just tell you, based on past experience, they've not been terribly happy when it keeps living on. I don't believe that there's a way that we could reasonably do just the intersection here because of the topographic challenges and the retaining walls and the grade changes that are necessary to make this work. This is a very challenging intersection
and go
design.
far enough east and west to pick up the topography.
So
And
clearly,
you go
both
far
of
enough,
these-
and then how much do you really have left? And
I don't know.
So clearly, both of them are
Engineering
necessary,
question.
and A Street is in horrible shape and needs to get fixed. And I see nothing wrong with the plan at hand, except for the fact that with the advent of the playfields at Joseph Street, the pressure from the public and the people in that vicinity is going to grow. And how are we going to handle that? Because there's going to be people screaming bloody murder for that intersection of Joseph and Mountain View, and not to mention the 6th Street and Mountain View intersection as people try to come and go from the ball fields. So
there's the
is there
dilemma.
any chance of getting accelerated attention to that street if we go with the A Street to get it off the books, which it desperately needs to be? But there's going to be huge pressure on Mountain View to do something about that, too. Any chances of other funding to facilitate that somewhere?
For Mountain View?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting difficult to find these days. I mean, we have made other applications for jobs and been favorably received, and then the programs were defunded in the past. It's a little hard to know with the new transportation bill that was just passed what effect that's going to have, if it will inject additional funding into this program. It's a possibility, but we just don't know yet because they really haven't figured it out, what's going to the states and then what's handed out to locals. That is a possibility that we would see an enhanced funding option there. In terms of, what could we do with Mountain View in the interim? Obviously, we can take a look at the
Put up
intersections.
2 more stop signs for about $150.
Well, and there's pros and cons to that, obviously. You know, it's not just a matter of throwing up a sign, but
Not an arterial anymore, then?
there's that. The project, the Mountain View project, is proposed to put in a roundabout at 6th Street, but it would retain the current configuration of Joseph and Mountain View as essentially the two-way stop. That's not proposed to change with that construction.
I do remember, if I may,
Yeah, go ahead.
a council request that Joseph and Mountain View be looked at for another roundabout,
And it was.
and I don't remember ever getting an answer to that either.
Yeah, again, the question of space and cost associated with it.
Might be because it's expensive, I'm not really sure. But
Well, you know, what you need to realize is if you do this, if you move the Mountain View money to A Street, you may get that 4 blocks and that intersection done. But if you read the memo from whoever Jerry is at LTAC, it's an interesting memo. It says maybe it gets reinserted in 21 or 22. It doesn't say it should get inserted in 21, 22. And then he goes ahead and says, I don't think it will lose 10 or 15 years. That's peculiar phraseology. I don't think it was really totally intentional, but it seems to be more in the back of his mind that, in my opinion, could happen. I think the council, if they agree with the staff's proposal to move Mountain View money to A Street, realize that don't do it believing, well, Mountain View will just get done in 21 or 22. We may be having it sitting there for 10.
That's not
Plus
how this
years.
reads. You're just feeling ornery. I don't think that's true. I just think he's just saying, it's not going to be as long in the pipe as the other one was. Merry Christmas. I just think they were having a chat.
Okay.
That's my take.
Okay.
If I may, the precursor that probably prompted that particular response was Kevin's inquiry about, is it a 5, 10, or 15-year delay
Right.
if we do this? And his response back was that, no, I don't think it's anything that long, 2-3 years potentially. And again, he can't promise because it depends on the program and the
Well,
funding.
there's no guarantees on
No guarantees.
grant monies or any of these things. Everybody knows that the United States is almost $20 trillion in debt, and so grants are going to be tough to come by, whether national or state. It's just the way it's going to be in the future, so
Well,
Who
I'd like
knows?
to bring up what Walter was talking about. So, and Art said the same thing. And I know we can't fix Mountain View. So I'd like to move to accept option 2. And I want to continue to have conversations about Mountain View.
is that a motion?
That was
You
motion.
just made a motion? Okay, Catherine made a motion to accept the staff's proposal. Dan seconded it.
No, it was to accept option 2.
Option 2,
Right,
which was
to build A Street.
build A Street, which was, okay, very good. Option 2, seconded by Dan. Everybody clear? We got that over there? John, we'll start with you.
Aye.
Aye. Reluctantly, aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay, we got 5 for and 1 against. It will pass, and so we'll move on.
Your Honor, if I may, would it be all right to ask Les, how would we, what's the next step in putting this back on LTAC's priority list? Mountain View. Do we have to make a new application?
No additional applications are required. It's already in the program. It's already selected as a project.
Okay.
It just, instead of having a dedicated program year for construction like it does now, it goes into project development, along with those other projects that are there, awaiting the funding to then be assigned to it as it becomes available.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted some clarification to the process.
Okay, thank you, Les.